Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, using the Gilded Tarot Royale by Cyril Marchetti and text by Barbara Moore. I have another deck that's very similar to this. The Royale version is a little different. There's a website at the bottom here if you're interested, llewellyn.com. For Cyril Marchetti, I believe if you go to usgamesinc.com, you'll also find stuff. So feel free to freeze frame and grab that information if you want it. Or check the other thing, or whatever makes you happy. Supportive Oracle Cards, Spellcasting Oracle Cards by Flavia, Barbara, and Lisbeth. There's the full spellings of their names. On the back here, I have a few websites. She Who Is Art always pops out to me, but if you see anything else there you want to check out, feel free to do so. I have, like, face-down cards all over the place here. Like, they kept falling out when I was shuffling, and I'm like, why is this happening? Like, what's going on? But I was kind of taught if they start falling out of the deck, you should leave them. It's usually there's a reason it falls out of the deck, so I try to. Okay. What is happening? The first thing I'm seeing is, like, when I feel I'm frustrated. I feel like I'm frustrated. The cards aren't bad, but something comes in really fast, and I'm just trying to deal with it. I don't know if I like it or not. It's just so fast that I don't even know if I like it or not. I don't know if it's good or not. Things change fast. I'm doing the best I can. The thing is, Taurus does not give up. Not easily. What you're used to is what you want to keep, and you do what you need to do to make sure you keep it. There's a change here. Is something ending is the question. I am not sure just yet. I feel like the challenge card here says a lot. Because it's actually a compatible card with you, but when it's the challenge card, it's kind of like putting the work in the correct direction. That's the challenge. You're going to put in your effort. You're going to do what you have to do, right? You're not giving up. That's just not a Taurus thing. It's just not the way I view Taurus. Taurus, I don't think of as somebody who gives up. They're just kind of like, no, that's mine. That's mine, and I'm working to keep it. I feel like the challenge here is to work in your favor and not against yourself. It's kind of like if something is working in a way to solidify what's left versus trying to work towards keeping something that's just going. Is something ending? Spirit guide is face down. Like you're gonna have inklings on what's to do. What's the inklings you're gonna have? You're gonna have these little inklings that are gonna be like, what are the inklings? What are the inklings that you're gonna get from the spirit guide? Your spirit guides. Love. So the Two of Cups, and this is that the Sun card? No. Yeah. Yeah, it is. 19 is the Sun card. This isn't bad. You might be fighting that. This change isn't bad, but you might be fighting that. It's like something happened. It's almost like where you live. It's this important is how it feels. The house you live in. There's a big change here, and it's like it's time to move. It's just it happened quick. This is something coming in really fast, and I could see where this would really not be okay with Taurus. Really quick, it's kind of like something goes on, it's time to go, I need to move. And it's kind of like working against yourself is trying to find a way to make it sustain. Like, how can we work through this? How can I work on this to where I don't have to move? That's kind of working against yourself. Versus kind of like, all right, I have to move, but how long before I have to be out? Like, if I have to move, do I get like a couple months? Do I get a couple days? Do I get a couple weeks? How long do I have before like I have to go? What other provisions can I do? If I can't live here right now, where can I go in the interim while I make long-term decisions? It's kind of like making peace with going, even though I feel like that's counterintuitive to Taurus. Kind of like, oh no, that's my house. That's where I live. This happened fast. That's not okay. Meanwhile, it's kind of like, no, part of you might be having those inklings kind of like, well, the person I was living with sucked anyway. So Not to be that brutal, but apparently to be that brutal. Or maybe some of the neighbors, maybe you didn't like the neighbors. Maybe the plumbing was a little bit wonky. Maybe the house was too big or too small. Maybe there was something about it that just never fit anyway. And it's kind of like, well, but if I do move, that's solved. I don't live with this person anymore. I don't deal with these people anymore. Or I don't have to deal with this too big a space, too small a space, whatever it is. For some of you, there's something about stairs where the stairs are too steep. I've seen that happen at houses before where like they're just like too close together. The stairs are too steep and they're a little bit dangerous. Somebody I'm getting for that. So wherever that fits, enjoy. It's kind of like, no, maybe it is time to go. And you can see the positives in leaving, but you might be fighting it. Like, that's not how I do things. I don't just make quick decisions like that. That's not how I do things. Meanwhile, your spirit guide's saying, no, see the good here. Roll with it. Try to make peace with the decision. Try to make peace with the change. It's hard. It's not easy. This is not Taurus's way. But, you know, we all know how life goes. Whatever way we are used to doing it, life says, well, you're going to do it a different way today. That's how life goes. Somebody else is walking away. This is, I better show you the other card too. There's like another card here. This card is somebody's going, but they're not telling you. So if we're going to use the house analogy again, maybe you split the rent with somebody. Maybe you need somebody's help to do something. Maybe, for example, if it's a home, maybe the bank that owns the mortgage, or maybe the government. I don't know, something isn't right here. Somebody is just like, you're expecting them to be there for you to solidify or stabilize the situation. They're going. Somebody else is seeing this situation like, I'm just going to leave. I'm getting like this. If you're relying on somebody to help you, or you're thinking that would help stabilize the situation so I don't have to go, for example, whoever you're relying on to help you not have to go, they are leaving. They are leaving and they're not telling you. This is a card of like they're not telling you. They're just doing what they want and they're like, you'll figure it out. This is also there. They're doing what's best for them and they feel like that's what they need to do. They're seeing this as your commitment, not their commitment. The fact that I'm seeing this is coming up in the challenge position, like what's not working. They're ditching, they don't see it as their commitment, they see it as your commitment. And they're just like, well, you're going to have to figure that out. I got to go. And I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm just going to disappear and you'll figure it out. I saw this card and I'm like, I don't like it. But I feel like it's not about liking it, it's just knowing it's there. I don't like it. It's just the energy there. I just don't like it. It's a pretty card, so it's kind of like it's the reading. The way this is happening though. Not a fan about how this is playing out. Because it's kind of like if people tell you things and people communicate with you, all right, they're making their decisions. But it's like you couldn't even leave me like a Dear John letter. Like you couldn't just leave me a written note or email me or something. Like you couldn't even at least do that. Like you couldn't even do that. I'm like, ooh. I feel a spike of like anger with that. And if that's coming in for, I feel like that would legitimately make you mad. Like you didn't even have enough respect to tell me you were going to leave and that you thought it was my responsibility and had nothing to do with it. You couldn't even at least let me know. You just wanted me to figure it out when I figure it out. Like, oh, look, wait, so-and-so stuff isn't here anymore. Hey, I haven't talked to so-and-so. When I send them text messages, they don't respond. Oh, look, they completely left me high and dry. I guess I figured it out. They didn't even have enough respect to just tell you. When you figure that out, that is going to make you mad. If this hits, how would that not make you mad? We're not going to let that drag us down. I know that. So that moment has to occur. And I'm like, why are we doing this? You know when people talk and they do that thing where they clap their hands and like, are you listening to me? Do you hear me? I feel that going on. I hate that so much. I purposely try to make sure I never do it because I feel like that's very rude. It's kind of like, I want to be obnoxious, so I'm going to clap my hands. It is obnoxious. When that's done, I feel like they're just kind of like trying to snap you into like making the change. Once it's done, when somebody left you high and dry and you see it, because you're gonna figure that out. It's not gonna take you very long to figure that out. Okay, that's happened. Now what do we have left? Oh my God, it puts my nose out of joint. Woo! It's difficult not to get bothered by it, but it's kind of like, all right, that's not for now. Put that to the side. So-and-so's a dork. Go into the dork pile and stay there. I don't have time for you right now. Now we're moving forward. What am I going to build from this? Okay. You're not giving up. You need a place to live. You probably, most Taurans have a lot of responsibilities, and they're kind of like, well, you're probably looking out for other people too, something like that. So it's kind of like, I need to fortify this. I need to stabilize my situation. Other people are depending on me. Even if it's like, I have to have a place to live so I can clean up myself and take care of myself and somewhere to sleep so I can go to work and do a good job at work because I have people that rely on me at work. Like, you take responsibility seriously. You're not going to allow yourself to fail. You're going to move forward. You're not really happy about this change, but I feel like, for example, you have to move. You're like, all right, maybe I'm going to be like, all right, I guess I can live with so-and-so. I keep feeling like maybe something like that. Doesn't mean you're going to move in with somebody else, but it's a change like that. Like, I wouldn't normally want to do this, but the way things are going, at least temporarily, and I don't think Taurus really likes temporary, not usually. So it's kind of like, okay, temporarily, let's do this. Can I do this? Does this work for you? Can we do this? All right, let's do that. It's the page that's kind of like, I don't know. I don't feel like this. Whatever we're choosing, especially with the Five of Swords. I didn't have enough time to really make this what I wanted it, but I need this. I need something to stabilize here. So, all right, let's do this. Not really a fan of the decision, is what I'm getting from you. We're trying to come. You're doing the best you can, and you're very devoted to like a good outcome. Obviously, these two together, if this is happening, it may take you a good month to stabilize and make a plan for what you want to have happen. I feel like the next month, take it with a grain of salt, just may feel like it's kind of like sitting on a broken chair. It's kind of like it still holds together, but it doesn't feel right. And you're like, I don't really know if I should be sitting on this chair, but it's the only one here, and I need to do work on the computer. I just have to. I have that. I mean, it'll work. I don't like it, but it'll work. That's kind of how it feels. Like sitting on a broken chair. I don't like it, but it's the only chair here, and I need to do work on the computer, and I can't just like stand and do it. That's not going to work for me. I'm not going to kneel here in front of it because that's going to kill my knees. I'm just going to have to do it. So I'm going to do what I need to do. You're committed to the success. During this time, good things happen. I work out what I need to do. Other people see you struggling and they want to help you. I feel like that's going to go fine. Other people are offering you healing. Other people are helping you see clarity about what's going on around you. Whoever walked away that you thought was going to help you, they're helping you see that a little bit differently and kind of like, all right, so you've learned that they're for themselves and that's how they're going to handle life. When it comes to these things, they're not going to help you. They're just going to help themselves. Doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life. Just see them for who they are. That's your business, what you do. But see them. Do yourself a favor. Just see them for who they are. And I feel like you will. You're fine. There's a lot of positive energy around you. People over the next, I'm going to say month, are helping you sort out and restabilize things for the better. They have a lot of ideas and they have a lot of time to work them out with you. You have a really good outcome coming. People are bringing forth a lot. People care about you. You're getting that care. You're getting that stability. People have a lot of this. They're bringing forth a lot of happiness. I do feel, though, the way that this is forming for you, it's going to take a while to really be where you want it to be. I feel like it takes a month before things start to feel like they're going better From that point forward, though, I feel like it's kind of like I'm building my future for what I want it to be. So I'm not going to say in a month everything's going to be great. I feel like in a month, I have direction. And I have direction. Like, it's kind of like I feel like I have to move, but I don't know where to go for a month. I don't really know where I want to go. But then I'm like, all right, you know what? I want to move west. And I want to go within this distance. I want to go within 50 miles or less west. That's what I've decided. So maybe your job is 20 miles to the west. And you're like, I'm willing to go 30 miles farther away from that, and that's still fine. So from here, 50 miles west, somewhere west is where I want to go. And I'm looking to be close to these certain things. So like I'm starting to work on what I want. And I'm pulling it in, I'm looking, I'm researching, I'm deciding. Taurus makes long-term decisions. You typically look for like the long-term. How is it going to look down the road? You make big decisions very carefully, and little decisions add up to big decisions. So you're starting to get directions, you're starting to form it based on what you want, but you're structuring this differently, kind of like that crap we just went through. I'm not looking to do that again. So I'm also looking to like safeguard this next phase from stuff like that. So you're going to start building it within a month. And then how long it takes you to build it is subjective to what you need. But I feel this card, this one. This is the Taurus card. You're going to be in your element. It's not time to reconnect. The Seven of Pentacles is like, it's not quite at the point where I can pick the fruit and eat it. This is kind of like, I want to say that tomato plants get yellow flowers. Yeah, it's like you're seeing the flowers on the tomato plant. It's kind of how I feel. So it's kind of like, well, the flowers have to fall off, the tomato has to form, it goes through its green stage, and then it has to start ripening, and when it's at its full ripeness, then I'll pick it. But it's kind of like I got a ways to go, but I'm enjoying that I have the plant. Do I want those tomatoes now? Yes. But am I ready for them? No. I need this to form better. I need to make sure I take care of this correctly because I want this tomato plant to thrive as long as it can thrive. So I'm just making sure everything, like I got to the point where I know where I want to plant it. Maybe it's one of those little starter plants. I know about where I want to plant it. I'm still kind of making sure it's in the right place, and now I got to tend to it, and now I got to help, I got to put the cage around it, I got to do all this stuff. It's up to you how long it's going to be, but I feel like it's more on your level in the sense of like, I'm happy with how things are going. Just to be fair, I'm seeing this, and I saw the happiness card, and I think I showed it to you. It's a very beautiful card in my opinion. But this is also coming in on your side. The balance of male and female, and the way I read male and female, nobody oversees the other. They're both equally strong. They're both equal leaders. No, they don't rule each other. Nobody rules the other. They just rule themselves, and they work very complementary with each other. You have both of these cards on your side, along with the Hierophant, which is the Taurus card. This next phase you're going into is exactly what you want. So it's almost like, if we're going to use the house analogy, maybe wherever you lived before was good for what it was when it was. But maybe it was in the middle of town, for example, or maybe it was somewhere where it just didn't work for you. Maybe you want to live a little bit closer to nature. You would like, a little better view. You'd like it maybe to be a little quieter. You're finding a place that fits your actual needs to the point where this is exactly what I want. Maybe you want a place with like a little game room up above the garage, for example. Maybe you want a pool. Maybe you don't. Whatever it is, you're finding something that like literally fits exactly what you want. You're finding it. You're making it happen. You're able to build it the way you want. It's the outcome you've actually wanted, and maybe you never could really get completely under your control. That's coming forward for you. Taking a while, but it's worth the effort. You're going to form it the way you want. There's a lot of good cards here, a lot of healing. It starts rough. When you get where you want to be, I feel like this might be one of those things that they term as a dark blessing. It's kind of like when I get to where I want to be in life and I look back, I'm like, all right, the way that happened, not so cool. That was never going to be okay. The way it happened was never be okay. But the fact that I'm in a much, much better place, it's like 100 times better than what it was. The fact that I'm here in a better place, now that, it did make it worth it. Does that mean it was okay the way it happened? I'm not going to say that. But it is worth where I am now. It's just not okay how it happened, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm going to have that clarity. Kind of like, yeah, that wasn't okay. The way that happened, that's not okay. But where I ended up, 100 times better. Much, much happier. Are we good? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.